Joe Young to Grodd. Come in. Over. Grodd, this is Joe Young. Do you copy? Over. Grodd.
I will not respond to that stupid name.
Look, Grodd, this is a highly classified operation.
We were all given random code names to protect our identities. I'm not happy with mine if it's any consolation.
But we just have to deal with it. Now, do you hear me or not?
I find that hard to believe.
What?
That we were just randomly assigned names.
You seem to choose yours.
But why would I want to be Joe Young?
Oh, look at me.
Big time ape over here.
Spent my time making YouTube videos, but now I'm sucking on Uncle Sam's teat.
Big talk for a guy who I found in an alleyway with a half-drinking bottle of Jack Daniels and tears streaming down his face.
Now, do you hear me or not?
Yeah, I copy.
All right, well, I just wanted to remind you that today you're going to be participating in something that's the culmination of over 3 decades of research, development, and testing.
You're going to be a part of the first manned time jump run ever attempted by the United States government.
We're going to be sending you back about 30 years in the past. We see you've passed all our testing relatively well, and we have every confidence that this test will go without incident. However, before we begin, I have a couple of questions for legal reasons that I have to ask.
Did you read and sign all the paperwork we gave you?
Yes.
Including the consent form?
Yes.
And the briefing?
Yes, I filled out everything. Christ.
Jeez Louise. All right. Did you go to the bathroom before entering the time vehicle?
Yes.
Did you eat anything within the last few hours of entering the vehicle?
No.
Did you receive a blood transfusion prior to 1992?
No. Can we just get started already?
I'm starting to wonder why I agreed to do all this shit.
Because you were desperate and you needed money, sir.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I think that concludes any questions we have. Do you have any questions for us before we begin?
Yeah. Does this radio work?
Yes, it should. Mind you, the stations will be different in the past.
Then why isn't it turning on?
It's not turning on?
No.
Okay, stand by.
Craig, did you forget to fix the radio? What the fuck? Craig, I told you 3 times to fix that damn radio. We're the most heavily funded lab in the country, and we can't spring for a functioning radio? What? Percussive, ain't it? God, I'm working with a bunch of fucking amateurs. Yeah, it should work if you... What was that? It should work if you punch it really hard.
All right. Ah, appropriate.
All right, beginning sequence. Rod, press firmly on the accelerator.
Let's do the time warp again. Activating.
Let's do the time warp again.
Now. Oh, looks like it's time for my 30-minute break. I wonder if anybody left some coffee cake in the break room. In the break room. Hey, Abe. Hey, Frank. So, how'd the time jump go? Oh, fairly well. The candidate was ready and performed all the necessary procedures. And it looks like the car isn't here anymore, so I think it was a success. Wow. I wonder what that guy in there is feeling right now. Oh, he's probably in excruciating pain. Wait, what? Oh, yeah, like Buddha said, existence is suffering, and that guy is experiencing 30 years of existence in, 1 minute. You know how, when you sit in a chair for a long period of time, it starts to get uncomfortable, and if you wait a little bit longer than that, it starts getting kind of painful? It's like that, but reduce the time to only a couple of nanoseconds, and then multiply by 30,000. Damn, don't you think that's kind of cruel? Ah, no, I'm sure he can handle it. It's gotta be some sort of OSHA violation. Wait. What? By the gods. This cannot be. What is this? Down you go, all alone. You love my venom strain.
Whoa! Wage slave, I have a question for you. I need to know what year it is, but I don't want to make it sound like I'm some sort of Neanderthal. I need a roundabout way to ask this question.
Yes?
What formats do you carry?
Only VHS. But the store down the street, I think, has DVDs.
What's the highest grossing film of this year?
Titanic, I think.
What do you think of ethics in gaming journalism?
There are journalists that write about video games?
Magnificent Stephen! I really did it! I traveled through time!
What are you talking about?
Nothing. Say, I'm starved for some good horror film recommendations. Do you think you could give me some?
Sure, I guess so. It seems like in recent years, film studios, at least in the United States, don't really want to try anymore. They want to work on sequels, prequels, spin-offs, and remakes. Why risk making something new when the studio could just make another Final Destination film? It seems like everyone just wants to phone it in.
Evil dies tonight!
Evil dies tonight!
All right, evil dies tonight!
That's why, especially now, I have a deep appreciation for films that have a very simple premise, but go all in on it, pouring all their budget, their time, their blood, their sweat, and tears into something. Much like your high school English teacher who's still 20 years from retirement and running on fumes, I want to see effort. And one film that makes it abundantly apparent that they put a lot of effort into what they're doing is none other than...
Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Holy shit.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space is a 1988 sci-fi comedy horror film that was written, directed, and produced by the Chiodo brothers. In the small Californian town of Crescent Cove, a UFO shaped like a big-top circus lands in the woods one night, out of which droves of clown-looking aliens come to make a meal of the locals by turning them into cotton candy and to propagate their weird popcorn offspring. It's up to the likes of Mike, Dave, Debbie, and their friends to put a stop to these clowns and their misanthropic mischief. Well, when I first saw this film, I thought it was alright. Rewatching it has really made me come to appreciate what they've done here. I mean, the set designs, the costumes, the puppetry, the practical effects, they're all fantastic. Like, even inside the big top, the level of detail they put into the corridors and rooms is just so damn good. On top of this, the soundtrack is killer. I mean, I love the synth rock kind of music that plays when the clowns begin their invasion. And who could forget the main theme of the movie performed by the Dickies? Perhaps one of the most iconic songs from any horror film there is.
Everybody's running when the circus comes into the town. Everybody's running for the likes of the killer clowns. Run out of space. Killer clown, wow, 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 ooh. Run out of space. Jacko!
If you're looking for a movie that's very simple but very well done and you're not afraid of clowns, please watch this movie. It's really well done.
What are you going to do with those pies, boys?
Man, I freaking hate salespeople, dude. Like, you know, I'm just trying to walk around my home, nude and peacefully in my home, and you have to come to my door, badger me, try to hawk your crappy services. I'm not gonna do that, okay? It doesn't matter to me that you're trying to get a shower radio, kid. I'm not gonna buy your popcorn. Well, this film will make you hate salespeople all the more. Door is a 1988 suspense horror thriller directed by Banmei Takahashi. In it, housewife Yasuko Honda lives a relatively peaceful life with her husband and son. However, one day she is badgered by a salesman who opens her door to give her a pamphlet. In panic, she slams the door on his hand, crushing his fingers, setting into motion a grim series of events for Yasuko. The salesman plays pranks on her, harasses her, starts to stalk her and her family. Thus, Yasuko tries to protect herself, her family, and get the salesman to just leave her alone. Door is a rather slow film, gradually building up tension. The salesman's harassment starting off as immature pranks, only to get more serious as time goes on. It all crescendos into this explosively violent final act that even made me wince. You know it gets grisly when they have to change the scene to black and white. This film is really well shot. The performances are great. I especially like Keiko Takahashi's performance as Yasuko, how she really captures the anxiety and uncertainty of a woman who's just trying to keep everything together. The music is good, even though the main theme plays quite frequently. They got a lot of mileage out of it. If you're looking for a solid thriller, definitely check out this movie. Phenomena. 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 Hold on. Yeah, did you cut this audio for this section of the video?
Yes.
Sorry about that. Anyway, Phenomena is a 1985 giallo film directed by Dario Argento and starring a really young Jennifer Connelly. The film follows Jennifer, the daughter of a famous American actor, who's going to an all-girls boarding school in Switzerland. There she sleepwalks at night and discovers a grisly murder. However, now that the murderer knows she's a witness, they attempt to kill her. While on the run from the murderer, she escapes into the nearby woods where she runs into and befriends entomologist McGregor and his pet chimpanzee Inga. There, Jennifer discovers that she has a telepathic link with insects and ultimately decides to use it to find the murderer. This is perhaps one of the wildest films I have ever seen. It has this very dark, gory plot with light supernatural elements, but it's set against the beautiful landscape of the Swiss Alps. And not only that, but the soundtrack of this film is largely composed by Goblin, an Italian prog rock band that frequently collaborates with Argento. And it goes so freaking hard. You know shit gets real when they bust out a harpsichord. This is one of the few films that I actually own the soundtrack on vinyl for. On top of this, the performances were great, the cinematography was great, and all in all, it's a really solid slasher and giallo film. Just please watch it in a lucid, sober state of mind. Thank you for that, Abe. Hey, this is gonna seem kind of strange. I know we just met each other, but do you think I could stay over at your place? I don't really have any place to stay for the evening. I guess you could. I don't think my parents would have any problem with it, but the only real room we have is the garage. Is that all right? Do you have a CRT and a Dreamcast? Yeah. Then that's all I need, baby.
Meanwhile, 30 years in the future.
Hey, Frank, what have you been playing recently?
Oh, you know, a little bit of Bloodborne, a couple MOBAs. Used to play ZZZ, but I don't think I very much like gachas anymore.
You mean you haven't been playing hit new game Uma Musume?
Dude, why the fuck would you say that? That's so fucking offensive. Just because I'm a horse, I'm playing a game about horse girls? Fucking hate Goldship, by the way. Every time she wins, I wince in pain.
Your favorite character is Haru, isn't it?
God rest her soul. Well, what have you been playing recently, Ape?
Well, I've been playing quite a few horror games recently. Human sociology is a very rich soil from which the flowers of horror can very easily germinate and bloom. It's interesting that some of the most famous horror games really don't have a singular antagonist, but a group of antagonists, be that the cult surrounding Silent Hill or the Umbrella Corporation in Resident Evil. It's not one person acting out on their own motivations, but usually multiple people, all with similar creeds or goals. But it's rare for that group to be composed of, well, children. Even while, by all accounts, children can be, at times, very, very scary. The wild imaginations, the big unregulated feelings, the stories of violence they tell themselves and repeat in order to teach themselves morals. It's a concoction for some really effective horror and anxiety, something that the game Rule of Rose understands quite well. Rule of Rose is a 2006 survival horror game developed by Punchline. In it, you play as Jennifer, a young woman who, one night, is given a storybook by a strange boy and led to an old boarding school, where she's tormented by children buried alive and awakes on an airship with all the children on board, taunting her. There, she befriends a dog named Brown, who acts as your companion as you navigate the airships, completing tasks, fighting battles, playing the twisted games the children prepare for you, and uncover the mystery of why Jennifer is here to begin with. Rule of Rose is largely unknown to the greater gaming public, other than people going like, oh yeah, I saw that game at my local game store for like $500, which feels criminal because it's a game with a very riveting, albeit disturbing story, an oppressive atmosphere, a really beautiful soundtrack, and themes of childhood innocence and how the mind of a child can lead to some really creepy and cruel places. I will warn you that this game is really, really dark at times, including abuse, animal cruelty, and putting children in danger and the like. But in the end, it weaves a very interesting psychological story that sadly not many have experienced.
You're a disgrace. Nothing worse than nothing. Your gift is worth nothing. Amanda. There. Amanda. 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 Amanda.
Full motion video is a concept that is very archaic by modern standards. What's so special about a game having videos? Immortality is a video game almost entirely composed of videos. But in the 1990s, it was the cutting edge. In a way, I view the attempts of older games to appear as movies to be rather quaint, like listening to a 1940s jazz record. It transports me to a bygone era where if you made an entire game using FMVs, you'd have a hit on your hands, especially if you made it spooky, such as 1995's D. D is a horror adventure game developed by Warp and directed by Kenji Eno. In it, you play as Lara Harris, a college student whose father, Richter Harris, has gone on a seemingly unprompted killing spree in the LA hospital he's the director of. As soon as Lara arrives to try and calm her father down, the hospital transforms into a medieval castle filled with all manner of disturbing things. Thus Lara must navigate the castle and find her father. I've already talked at length about the sequel to D, D2, which you can view right here, and I've also talked about the director, Kenji Eno, who, as we well know, was a bit of a maverick in the games industry. Well, D is no exception to this, and I have quite the story to tell you. You see, Eno wanted D to be a very shocking game, including scenes of intense violence and cannibalism, because he thought it would sell really well that way. But he also knew that it wouldn't fly by the censors and publishers, so he had to be a little underhanded. He submitted a clean version of the game to the publishers. They, expectantly, approved of it and gave him the go-ahead to bring it to the manufacturer. In the process of going to the manufacturer, he swapped the clean version with his own master version of the game, which included the more violent scenes. But it worked because D would be a major success for Eno and his development company, Warp. But what of the game now, some 30-odd years later? Well, it's quite interesting. It still has a rather creepy atmosphere. The sound design is really good, as is the music, which was also composed by Eno, and while the dialogue at the time may have been considered rather serious and novel, in modernity it comes across as rather campy and humorous, which is on brand for the kind of cheap horror game like this. Finally, I consider this to be a positive attribute. It's short. There's no option to save your game. You just play it all in one setting, which is fine because the whole game's like 40 minutes long. It doesn't really waste your time. Well, almost does it. If you're looking for a quick, quirky, old horror game, D is the game for you. I really liked it.
Laura. Soon, I will be transformed. When that happens, my new self will have need of you. This other self is one I cannot control. It is he who has done these horrible things. Laura, leave here. He wants you.
Where do you go when you die? Are you merely food for the earth? Or do you ascend or descend to some other plane? What if death consumes your life? Does our preoccupation with what comes after prevent us from enjoying what comes before? 2025's Heartworm, a psychological horror game created by Vincent Andinolfi, asks such questions. Sam, a young woman suffering from PTSD, is obsessed with death and what comes after, and soon travels to an old house that supposedly has an entrance to the afterlife. After going in, Sam is accosted by all manner of supernatural beings. Thus, she must survive the nonsensical underworld she has found herself in while trying to find the answers that she seeks. With the demo included in the haunted PS1 demo disc, I was deeply fascinated with what Heartworm would become, and I'm so happy with what it turned out to be. It blends the traditional fixed camera angles, resource management, and inventory of the Resident Evil series with the more deeper philosophical and psychological questions of a game like Silent Hill, as well as taking some inspiration with camera mechanics from Fatal Frame. And while Heartworm does wear its inspirations on its sleeves, it presents an interesting world and a rich atmosphere to set itself apart from those influences. If you want to play a fresh new horror game that takes cues from classics, you gotta play Heartworm. Oh yeah, I think Nitrorad talked about one of those or something like that. I don't know. Oh, man. Hey, when is that car supposed to return? Oh, shoot! You know what? I forgot to install the reverse drive. What do you mean? It's the part that makes him come back to our time from the past. He's not going to come back? Oh, I hardly think anybody will notice he's gone. Well, this is a very serious problem, Apes. We gotta tell the higher-ups about this. This is a fundamental flaw. Hey, Frank! You need to calm down. You understand? You're starting to worry me. No one needs to know about this, you understand? But what about the... Frank, I could lose my job over this. And if that happens, I'm going to find you. I'm going to end you. You understand? Yes, I understand. Good. Now I'm going to hit the head. You be a good boy and finish your coffee. This conversation is over. What am I supposed to do? He said he was going to end me if I report him. Damn it. Well, I don't think he'll know it was me if I report him. I think I'll be safe.
Lab Emergencies line.
Yes, something happened. After work. Man, what a day. Comfortable? Oh, I told you not to tell Frank. Oh, I told you not to tell!